After suffering an injury against Texas A&M that forced him to miss the SEC championship game against Georgia, Kelvin Banks Jr. came back strong in the opening round of the college football playoff, surrendering 0 sacks against Clemson. Let's dive into the tape and talk about why he's still, in my opinion, going to be a top 10 player in this 2025 NFL draft class. All it starts with, we talk about the run game, right? Getting off the ball, being a master in that aggressive mindset in the run game helps Texas's run game go. They absolutely destroyed Clemson on the ground in this game. Kelvin Banks listed at 6'4", 320 pounds, moves extremely well for a big man right here on the left side, starting 3 years from a freshman now to being a true junior at left tackle. He does a great job getting off the ball here. Sometimes he does have that first step slowness where he's not off the ball right when you want him to. He has great recovery speed and athleticism that allows him to be like that a little at times, but right here, just a split zone. You've got offensive coming down here. There's no one really on him. Number 3 is looking all the opposite direction here. He's looking over here. And then you've also got Gunnar Helm on the opposite side who's still not really paying attention. They wanted to quick snap to Clemson right here, but what he needs to be doing right here is coming back across. Block number 3 on this side. You've got down blocks here with that split zone action. And again, Kelvin does a really nice job of getting off the ball and then coming downhill. You see, he's a little bit top heavy at times. He will lean into a block right there. He does a good job getting his face mask across that outside shoulder, attacking the outside shoulder, and then driving on it when he gets underneath it, using his arms there, extending. Again, you're going to see right here, he's got a little bit of that top heaviness. His feet aren't under him. He's leaning down over there, and that can get him in trouble at times. But that aggressive nature, he seems to work out a lot more for him, and he can do a good job of getting off the ball, keeping his feet under him, his hips underneath him, so that he's not just full bore ahead looking to fall on his face. So he's got that aggressive mentality. That's really what you want, and he's a good athlete. He does a really nice job of getting second blocks or help blocks into the next level. So here he does a really nice job getting off to the left-hand side outside zone. You see there's that outside hand helping Gunnar Helm, again, taking control of that block. And then he's going to line up his block here. Eyes are going to come out right here. He's always looking, right? He knows his responsibility is to help block here first, but his eyes are looking out in this direction. He sees this defender go this way. So he's going to go ahead and block right here, number 47, get to that next level of everyone else does a really great job. The running back just seams right there. And once you get that linebacker trying to fight across the inside here to shed underneath and look for the football, Kelvin Banks does a really great job of getting his hips around right here in a better position to wall off that defender and give Blue that just lane to run off of. He makes a man miss, and number 47, who again was there, cannot catch up now, and you've got a clear runway. So really great job from Banks, getting that help block down first on the outside zone and then climbing to the next level. He gets there so quickly. He has good foot speed in that short area to be able to collapse down, whether it's collapse down to the right or left, and then get to the next level. So everything from him, he does a really, again, a good job in those regards, but you can't take plays off, right? You can't get, when you're on a backside block here, you cannot take any plays off. And I think for the most part, he does a really nice job of just kind of getting in guys' ways when he's over on the left-hand side or the right side and they're running the opposite direction. This, you just need to get off the ball. Sometimes you're going to be faced with a defender who's in, over the guard, and you have to down block there, maybe inside shade. Sometimes you don't want to be in that spot, but right here, we have inside shade on Banks on that inside right there. And this is just, again, right, nice job, lateral quickness, getting over there, getting his outside hand underneath, and then keeping this inside hand free right here, just in case you see someone try to cut underneath. You see a linebacker trying to get through there. He's just trying to keep that outside inside hand attached to his guard buddy, and then does a nice job of just cutting that block off, or cutting that player off right there. So all in all, really good athlete who does a lot of very good athletic things when he's asked to get out and pull. He can do all of that as well. And then they like to lead block him. So he's scheme versatile, runs some of the zone. He can be a puller as well, do all of that. And then he has good balance. We talked about how he's a really aggressive in the run game. But I think for a guy who does have that top heavy nature, he's got some really nice balance. And here he gets more pushed from his guard buddy right there, just kind of blocking him down right here. Then he kind of falls this way. But then he shows right here, he's got really good balance, being able to come back through and get on a block and then just turn. That awareness to turn his body towards number 30 to where you just give the running back a lane, right? That's all you're looking for. You just want to be able to pull that running back in the direction to say, look, run off my butt, my hip. I'm going to give you something here. So the aggressiveness can get him into trouble where he lunges a little bit with his head and his shoulders and gets top heavy at times, and he'll fall off of blocks by doing that in those later stages of blocks. But here, showcasing a little bit more of that balance and then getting out in front of number 30, giving the running back a lane to work off of, which is really nice to see. So as a run blocker, there are some things, some tools that he has where he can get better. I think most of it stems from his aggressive nature and wanting to be that finishing player, but he doesn't necessarily have the requisite length, which we're going to get to here as a pass protector, to really keep himself grounded, keep those hips and feet under him so he kind of leans into it at times. Just try to be mindful for him as when you have that top heavy nature and sometimes your footwork can be behind you a little bit too wide, you'll fall much easier and it'll be easier for defensive players to disengage, shed blocks, and throw you upfield. So just keeping that in mind. Again, right here now, we flip over to him as a pass protector. Very good hand usage, athleticism once again. But overall, you see the hand carriage right there. That's what I like to see. Hands are ready. They're not down at your knees. They're not too high up here. They're all right, nice and even. A little bit chest level. He's ready to go. And he does a nice job of just waiting, being patient, using that 45-degree angle pass set, and then extends. Now, here you're going to see that defender disengage late. This is one of the areas where, as a player who probably has maybe 33, maybe a tick shorter than 33-inch arms, you can find yourself in a losing position. And he does a nice job of feigning. What we mean by feigning is when you have your hands up, you see his hands are ready, he's going to kind of flash them a little bit. Right there, he's going to pull his left hand back. So he kind of shows it, he's going to pull it back, and then reestablish. Right there, boom, both hands are back, and then he waits, he gets that pass rusher to show him something, and then he goes ahead and engages, keeps those feet out. Now, he's a little bit, obviously, square with the blocker, or with the defender, excuse me, and that's where you want, but he kind of stops moving his feet right there, and then the defender is able to disengage quickly and get off him. So overall, in this type of situation, in the later stages of blocks, you want to keep your feet moving. You don't want to stop just because right here, he seems to be in a controlled position. You never know what's going on behind you, and you can't just stop your feet right there. So he needs to be able to keep continuing that block. He's got good lateral quickness, so he has that athleticism to keep with defenders. Just got to keep doing that and keep engaging right there, and he'll stop falling off of blocks at the end, near the end of plays, and allowing them to disengage as quickly as they do sometimes. But with his hand location, and we talk about the hand carriage, those are all very important things. Being able to use your outside hand properly with your inside hand. Two hand jabs, mixing them in every now and then is fine, but what that does is it naturally creates that top-heavy problem, right? We talked about him as an aggressive run blocker, but if you're constantly taking two hands and trying to jab, your shoulders now out in front of your hips, and that's a lot easier for rushers to be able to get after you. So right here, you're going to see does a really nice job of using his outside hand as that go-to. Right there, inside hand first, all right? Nice jab step. We got feet going back this direction. Inside hand at the ready, extending with your inside hand, and then he's going to use, his outside hand, then he's use that inside hand just to keep on that long arm where number 3 is going to try and pull him into. Does a nice job of absorbing that power. And for somebody who is as big as he is, 320 pounds, with that movement skills, the ability to anchor, he does that very well. He also has that 2-hop step. You're going to see here, it's more of a one back, right there. It's kind of more a heel clicky, but he does have the 2-hop step as well. So footwork, right? We talk a little bit about the 2-foot hop, kind of to really engage the bull rush. I forgot to mention he also uses a little bit of the gallop technique in his blocking in terms of doubling to the next level. That's where you almost do a lot of the same that we just saw. It's that gallop technique. So he has good use of his feet, his hands. Now, we talk about his length, right? Sometimes you're going to run into problems with guys who are longer than you. In the NFL, there's going to be a lot more defensive players like number 40 right here, Landon Jackson, who are longer than you. This is a physical defensive player who's long, and he tries to do a really nice job here of kind of Euro stepping the outside. And this is where the inside counters come in, right? being able to set up the outside. So Jackson actually does a nice job. Again, he's going to attack the inside half first. Excuse me. He's going to attack inside out. So he's going to attack inside, kind of euro around, and try to chop down. And then he stops and then comes back to the inside. Just a little bit longer of a counter. But you'll see initially right here, Banks does a nice job of countering with his hands. He shows his hands initially, stops, drops them. And then this is where the problem comes in, because you can allow rushers into your chest a little bit too quickly, right? So right there, you see the inside shoulder is now on the chest plate of Kelvin Banks, and then you have the problem after that. He can't get his hand underneath, his inside hand to underneath to relocate and extend. So that's where you have Jackson able to take control of the situation here and then extend a little bit for him, rip underneath, and win inside. Some of this is on yours as well, stepping up into it. You're trying to step up into the pocket, right? You can't see your backside, and so a little bit of everything happens there. But some of those inside counters can be prevented with a little bit more use of your length. Even if you have 2.5, 33-inch arms, you can still use some of that length. It's just easier for guys with length to counter them. So overall, very talented athlete. He's got really good footwork, and when he uses his length properly, I think you see some of the tools really come together with his hand usage and the footwork. That 45-degree smooth pass set is all there, and so here he does a really nice job of locating on the outside shoulder, or excuse me, the inside shoulder right here. Extends first. We see the arm come off, and then he relocates everything on this inside shoulder here, and then he just collapses down. Applies that pressure, and when Jackson tries to come back around, he loses his balance and he pushes him in the ground. So no prospect is without their warts, but we look at these guys in individual classes, and I think Kelvin Banks separates himself with his size, his athleticism, and then his hand usage, and that's why I think he's going to go inside the top 10. A lot of tackle-needy teams out there are going to be looking for some of these players, and Kelvin Banks has the requisite strength. He has the anchor, the lower half strength can show up at times, and some of that upper body lean can be taught. It can all be coached out of him, so he has the tools to be successful, and the hand usage really is going to propel him to the top of this tackle class. So Kelvin Banks Jr. is a top 10 player in this draft, and I think he's going to go inside the top 10. I hope you guys appreciated and enjoyed this film breakdown from me. If you guys are new to the TDN channel, please hit the sub button right now, hit the like on the way out, and I'll see you guys next time.